believe we're live. You guys can hear me. Please let me know and we will get this started. First and foremost, happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there, especially mine. Hope you have a fantastic day. Sorry I can't be with you. We're far away, but got to give a shout out to all the moms today. But this is a really fun race, I think, just based off of how qualifying went. Should be a very, hopefully it's a good race. We know Kansas so far in the next gen era, just a couple of years, the racing has been pretty good. And I'm hoping we see that once again. I thought the truck race was very entertaining, and obviously you can't compare trucks to Cup by any means, but multi-groove track, and hopefully it should be fun. But we have tons of place differential to talk about today, and they're going to soak up a ton of ownership. So it's going to make builds very interesting because it's very easy to get different as well. I mean, they're great projection plays. You should play these guys. But at the same time, if you want to get different, it's not that hard because they have several drivers priced right by them that you can pivot to that won't be nearly as owned. Going loud and clear from Andre. That means we are good to go. What's up, Tito? I see it says Truex will log out. Let's make some money today. Yeah, it's definitely going to be log out there. It's been log out since the past couple of years, Tito. But yeah, it should be a fun one. I'm expecting a Kyle Larson butt kicking today. I mean, he looks like he has the best car. He practiced amazing, qualified great. He's great intermediates. He's great at Kansas. I mean, it's probably going to take some crazy stuff to happen for Kyle Larson not to get there, which we know it's NASCAR and that can 100% happen. The best car does not always win, and the best car usually does not win in NASCAR. So I mean, I haven't projected to win today, but betting him at plus 265 seems borderline insane. Definitely no value, at least on my part, how I run my projections there. What's up, Mom? Happy race day. If you didn't hear me, happy Mother's Day. You were the best. Appreciate you being here. All right, I got a couple of donuts here. I'm going to knock those out first. First one from CGen, appreciate that. It says, who are the lower scrubs you would dip down to? So I noticed in build stages, I have not yet build, as I always say, I like to build after my live stream because it leaves me no time to tinker with my lineups and get off what I wanted to play. So what I play is, that's what I had, and I can't say, well, I pivoted off that. No, but I don't have much time to get my lineups in. But I've noticed in builds, you really don't have to go too much below AJ Allmendinger a lot. And I've seen some where you don't even really have to go below Brad Keselowski today. I think the builds are very easy to make. I feel like some weeks we get really uncomfortable and have to try to force in two of these 5K drivers. I just don't really find that to be necessary today. But if I am going to punt, for me, it's Ty Dillon. He'll be starting in 29th. He had some of the better practice times down low that offer place differential. Like, sure, Justin Haley, John Hunter Nemechek had some decent practice speed, same with Zane Smith, but they qualified inside the top 20. We get Ty Dillon basically in 30th, 19th, 16th, 9th, and so far this year, I mean, he's been capable of getting top 20s at these track types. The Vegas odds never reflect that, and DraftKings still prices him like he's worse than Cole Custer. So, I mean, I think you have to kind of take advantage of that. If you need a pure pump play, Ty Dillon seems like the man. But other than that, I mean, you can really get away with AJ Allmendinger being your cheapest driver most times. And then even then, 7K range too, just depending on the type of build you are going with. Because honestly, there's a scenario today where Kyle Larson's just the main lap leader and you don't really need to get another potential dominator in there. Now, a lot of my builds will have drivers that multiple 10K drivers. But at the same time, if you go Larson and then dip down straight to the AK range, going with like Chastain and then pure PD after that, I could see that being a cash build today because, you get your main dominator and then you get a bunch of PD guys that can finish top 15, top 10, and that might be just enough for cash games today. Got done it from Dan Freed. Appreciate that, sir. Says, building 2 lineups on DraftKings using 2 for single entry contests. Do you recommend 12 drivers to avoid 1 DNF ruining both lineups? No, I would not spread it out that much. I mean, I know it's NASCAR, and DNF can ruin your day, but we just have no idea who's going to DNF, so it's really just not worth worrying about. I would definitely have a tighter core there. In my 3 max, I typically have the same rotation of almost like 4 or 5 drivers and mix in a couple of other as loose ends, but I'll roll with my core. I don't usually go 3 for 3 on drivers. The only time I'll ever do that is when we have just insane PD plays because they really can't hurt you that much. And today we kind of have a scenario of that with Barry, Brad Keselowski, Kyle Busch. I mean, they can't move back today. So if you wanted to go 3 for 3 just in this scenario, or 2 for 2, I guess in yours, perfectly fine. So I would roll with a core there and just try to pivot maybe 2 spots in your next lineup. So let's just say, for example, you went Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, you could still use the same PD plays or maybe just take one of them out. So let's say Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Kyle Busch. You could pivot to, say, Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick, Bubba Wallace in that one, and then still use the same PD plays. And I think that's okay. What's up, Johnny T? I'm assuming that's you. First one here as usual. I cannot see your message. My thing just, I'm assuming it's the FanDuel cash question. And my answer to that was, I believe I see that you're asking me if I should play Larson in FanDuel cash. I would personally. I think there's a lineup that it's intriguing to me of going Blaney and the Hamlin instead of Larson on FanDuel, but I just think Larson's going to be so good today. If he does lead that 100 laps, I mean, you're getting those 10 cushion points there, which I realize Blaney and Hamlin can make up for it because of the PD. But I do think the cash route will be just to play Kyle Larson because salary is not a thing on FanDuel today. You can build really good lineups that leave $5,000 on the table. And then if you're just playing Larson, I would highly recommend just getting the PD plays in for cash, Kyle Busch, and then some combination of Josh Berry, Brad Keselowski, and even Alex Bowman. I love Alex Bowman today. I'll talk about him if people bring him up, but he just looks so good today on paper. And I don't understand why he's so cheap. There is no reason he should be in the 7K range. That makes no sense to me. What's up, Daniel? Top 5 drivers to win the race. Top 2 sleepers today. Yeah, my top 5 is probably going to be what everyone's top 5 would be, but Kyle Larson's number 1. And then I believe it goes William Byron, Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, Denny Hamlin, I believe is my projected top 5. I should probably pull it up just to verify that. It's some order of that. Yeah, Larson, Byron, Reddick, Blaney, and then Denny Hamlin. Sleepers, I have Alex Bowman next. He's in 6th. That doesn't necessarily line up with the odds. I think most places have Christopher Bell and Chris Buescher next, but I have Bowman ahead of them, actually. The green flag speed's been there for him this year at these track types. He's in a Hendrick car. Overall, his practice times look really good. Pulling up the practice results here. Zoom in a little bit. So if we go to the top, just the way how I rank these from some of the raw laps, I mean, Alex Bowman, he actually edged out Kyle Larson in this. I'm not saying he's going to be better than Kyle Larson, but just in how the way I ranked this practice session, I mean, Alex Bowman looked fantastic. Obviously, the 300 drivers, they all look good. So, yeah, I think Bowman's definitely a sleeper today. Ty Gibbs could be a sleeper as well. I would say Chris Buescher, but I don't really think he's considered a sleeper at this point this week. I think everyone's kind of on that Buescher train of, hey, he's going to be fast this week. What's up, Stan? What's up, AJ? Says, torn between Bubba and Bowman. Larson, Reddick are core. PD is Busch and Berry. Bottom tier is Old Faithful, Ty Dillon. Bubba has the track history. Bowman has the Hendrick Chevy speed plus 6 place difference. Yeah, I personally like Alex Bowman, but Alex Bowman also has the track history. I know Bubba Wallace has one here, but if we look at Alex Bowman's numbers in the next gen era, it's a 5-race sample size. 7.2 average finish, which is actually better than Bubba. 10.1 running position, which is also better than Bubba. Slightly better driver rating. He's been in the top 10 every single time. Only one top 5, which Bubba does have edged out there with 2 top 5s. But I mean, Bowman's been really good. I like them both a lot in tournaments. I mean, 2 of my favorite tournament plays on the slate, Bubba Wallace and Alex Bowman, which I feel like I say that I feel like just every single week it's the same guys. We're playing Larson, we're playing Blaney, some combination of that up top. And then we have Keselowski for PD, Ryan Preece for PD, and then we have Bowman and Wallace who qualify in a really weird range that makes them perfect tournament plays every week. And then you have Ross starting 20. It just feels like the same slate almost every single week, no matter which track we go to. And Larson Reddick or Larson Bell for core dominators. I'm going to prefer Reddick over Bell personally. I've liked the speed we've seen at the intermediates more from Tyler Reddick this season than Christopher Bell. I just don't really like the 9K range. I like the 10K range a lot. I think they all make perfect sense. I love the 8K range. Love the 7K range. 9K range just doesn't look very appealing to me. What's up, Conscious? What's up, Marvin? Good afternoon, Penn Nation. Let's make these screens green. I would agree with that. Not that I appreciate it, although I do appreciate you being here. What's up, Dustin? Let's hope so. One of my drivers would stop wrecking. Yeah, I mean, what was it last week? I was first in my single entries last week, and then was host of our pinched Ryan Preece on the wall, which I was lucky to that point to avoid most of the wrecks in my single entry builds. Like there was half the field was dead, and I'm still running 6 out of 6 or 5 out of 5 on FanDuel. And then, we lost Ryan Preece, unfortunately, because he got caught a lap down when he was on pit road and the caution came out, which sucked. What's up, CJ? What's up, Hockey? I agree. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. Jeremy says, don't sleep on Chase. I just don't really see a reason to like Chase too much this weekend. He didn't practice exceptionally great. All the other Hendrick cars looked really good in practice. He was lagging behind a little bit. Trying to see where his exact times were. Where's he at? Yeah, he just looks mid. If you look at his consecutive lap averages, 16th, 17th, 17th, 10th. I mean, he's going to have to dominate at this price tag pretty much. Because, yes, I realize he's cheaper at $9,000 starting at 9th, but the realistic odds of him dominating, I think, are pretty low. He has not shown any ability to be faster than any of the 10K drivers so far this year, really, besides at Martinsville, which that doesn't apply here to Kansas this weekend. He'll probably run top 10, which is okay, but that's not getting you there in DFS. I mean, Ross Chastain probably finished somewhat similar. He starts 20 spots further back almost. All these other guys, so I don't know. I don't really see a reason to like Chase Elliott this week. Looking at what he's done at Kansas, he's not been bad at Kansas. 4 top 10s, 1 top 5, but we just kind of need more than that. I mean, he's consistently good, okay, but I feel like we need more upside just based off of how the slate shakes out. What's up, Levi? Looking for cheaper options to plug in between Austin Dillon, Brad Keselowski, Gilly, Zane Smith, also Suarez on a ton of PD upside. Thoughts currently at Bowman, Chastain, and Bubba. Still debating the top guy. Yeah, I mean, Alex Bowman's outside of this obvious chalk right here, I mean, Alex Bowman's one of my favorite plays on the slate. Everything looks good for him. Fine PD play, not really breaking the bank. Either if you have to go a little bit lower, there's just not really too much here until you hit AJ Allmendinger. I don't think you mentioned him. I mean, Dinger makes sense. I know he practiced horrible, he qualified horrible, which is kind of out of character for him at these types of tracks. But what we've seen so far this year is showing that he can be a borderline top 10, top 15 driver. Smaller sample size for him at Kansas, just in the data set, but typically around 20th place. Has a top 15. And if he finishes 20th today at 6,100 starting in 33rd, you'd be very happy with that. Even if he finishes 25th, you're not going to complain too much. But Bowman would be my top guy of that group currently. Got a dono here from Jay Swain. Appreciate that. So Byron, Blaney, Reddick, fade 1. I think the easiest one for me to fade of that group would be William Byron. I like all 3, of course, but Blaney offers me PD. He's been insane this year and in the long run, which I know some people are kind of worried about the practice times, but I don't really want to let one practice session worry me over what we've seen in a larger sample size of this season of him just being basically a god in the long run on this tire. I don't really see what would change. And then Reddick's also been really quick, so they've all been quick. I mean, Byron's actually been the quickest green flag speed-wise of that group, but for me, it'll be Byron. What's up, Kenny? Yeah, Joey won a week late. You should have known Mother's Day was this weekend, which, once again, Joey was not bad last week by any means, but, once again, he just sneaks in a late win when he probably shouldn't have won the race. Yeah, and I bet Blaney live last week, just a sprinkle, at plus 1,000 late, and I forget exactly when. It was in stage 3, and I just couldn't believe the odds I was getting on Blaney. He was super fast once again in the long run, and he got up there once again, but just can't get the finish. At some point, he's finally going to win, but man, he just can't get it together at the very end. Sometimes it's his fault, sometimes it's not, but I'm just glad Michael McDowell didn't win last week. That would have been just so stupid. Got down here from Pugsley. Appreciate that. Larson, Hamlin, Bowman, Dinger, Cindric, Barry, and GPP. I love Busher, but if I swap the 2 for the 17, I can't afford any of the 3 PD. Yeah, I don't really think it's worth doing that if you're going to lose all of the PD drivers. So I think that's fine. I haven't really found myself on Cindric too much, but from what we've seen this year, I think he can probably be a borderline top 10, top 15 card today. Maybe upside of a little bit more. He just doesn't project that well because, of course, in his 7K range, you have Barry Priest-Keselowski and then Alex Bowman. So it's very tough to get the Cindric, but he will not be owned. So if it's a GPP, I can't hate on it. I love all the other drivers. What's up, Josh? DK Cash thoughts? Larson, Blaney, Buescher, Keselowski, Barry, and Allmendinger. I would not play Buescher in cash games today. I mean, I think he'll be fast. I think he'll be good. Tournament play only for me, though. That's just too much risk in cash games because if he doesn't get the lead over Larson, I'll probably fade back a little bit. I'm not saying he's going to be into the abyss, but if he finishes 7th, that's probably not a great cash score considering all the other guys in the 7K range that have unlimited ceiling, super high floor. So instead of a Buescher, I would play either a Kyle Busch. I think Kyle Busch probably makes, if you can make that fit, Kyle Busch would make a lot more sense in cash games. I mean, the rest is fine, though. I think there's 2 cash builds today. 2 or 3, depending on a driver. I think most people go Larson. Well, everyone's going Larson. That's going to be the main dominator. And then the difference in the 2 lineups is I think a lot of people either go with Blaney and Hamlin as they're pairing with Kyle Larson in the 10K range, or they're going to drop down to Chastain and go full PD. Like Kyle Busch, Josh Berry, Brad Keselowski. And then you can, in that build, you can make Keselowski your cheapest driver. If you go the Hamlin route or Blaney, you can make Dinger your lowest price driver. So you don't really have to dumpster dive too much. But I think those are like the 2 cash builds today. What's up, Philip? How does Reddick's crew chief not being there affect his race? I don't think at all. I just don't think it ever matters at all. I mean, they're getting all the data they need. I mean, there is no shortage of information that when your crew chief is gone, it doesn't make a difference. So that is not something I ever care about. What's up, Spreader? So he says, what's the rain looking like in Tampa? I got a 5-man race stack. Yeah, it only got delayed. It's not raining where I'm at. I'm about 2 hours south of Tampa. But I know we got some weather in the area today. I think the radar looked pretty bad overall, but I don't know. It's not raining here yet. What's up, Michael? Favorite 4 driver today besides Blaney? Thanks for all you do, buddy. No problem. Favorite 4 driver besides Blaney. Here, let me pull up my other sheet here. Projection wise. Well, projection wise, it's going to be Brad Keselowski. It's a near tie with him and Josh Berry. If you ask me today to pick between Brad Keselowski and Josh Berry, you're just being mean because honestly, I have no idea how you would even, I don't even know how you would be confident in your answer. They're the same exact play today. I think Brad Keselowski had a bit of a better practice, although he didn't run as many laps, which could skew it a little bit. Let me pull up the consecutive lap averages here. Keselowski, 17th, 12th, and 6th. Josh Berry fired off better. 25th, 22nd, 17th. I mean, my projections slightly prefer a Brad Keselowski, but it is close. Hold on. Lost my spot. Okay. Do we prefer Brad Keselowski and Cindric or Buescher with Gregson? I would prefer the Keselowski route personally. What's up, Obi? What's up, Chad? Which one do we like better in DraftKings? 3 kings with some lower, like studs, with some lower price guys, or 2 downs with more balanced line. I like the balanced approach better. It's not like it's a 500 lap race where we need like 4 guys to absolutely lead 100 laps in this race. I mean, if Larson leads half this race, you know, Denny Hamlin could sneak in and be a threat for late stage 2, stage 3, but I'm with the 1 to 2 dom approach today with all the place differential we have. I do need to make sure when lock is really quick because it's either at 3 or 3:30 on FanDuel. Okay, it's a 3 p.m. lock. I was thinking it was 3:30, so good thing we got that straightened out. Priest and Berry or Dinger and Dillon back end guy? Oh, I would definitely go with Priest and Berry. I feel like it's a bit of a price difference there, but yeah, I'll definitely take the first group. Hello, Yvette. It's Brenda from Tampa, Florida. Who's a driver you wouldn't fade? I would not fade Kyle Larson today. I think he's got the best car. He's in the best spot to dominate. Especially if you're on DraftKings where those dominator points matter a ton. I'm going to have to go with Mr. Larson there. And hopefully you're enjoying the rain over in Tampa today. What's up, Rick? Welcome to the race in the land of Oz. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. I couldn't agree more. Yeah, hopefully Kansas puts on a show. Texas was... I mean, there was a lot of wrecks and stuff. If you like wrecks, you probably enjoyed Texas, but the racing sucked. There was 2 guys that could pass. It was Tyler Reddick, Ryan Blaney, and that's nothing new. Other than that, it wasn't too exciting. The ending was fun because it got stupid, but Tito says, this Custer slander? It's always time for Custer slander. You know that, Tito. He's an Xfinity superstar. Hopefully I'll see you at the top 2 as well, Biggie Stacks. How much is too much, Larson? If I'm in a 20 max, I'm probably not going above 70, 80. If I'm in a 150 max, I'm probably not going above 60, 70. I mean, great play, but as we all know, hey, a weird caution happens stage 1. The field gets shuffled, and then he's in 13th. He gets his way back up to 3rd. Someone else dominates. He doesn't pay off his price tag. I mean, you have to factor these things in. It's not always as simple as, yep, Larson's going to lead every single lap. Nothing weird is going to happen in this race, because most likely something will happen in this race. You just kind of have to hope that he's not getting screwed too much. Like in the truck race, Corey Heim should have led almost every single lap, but untimely caution, it traps you a lap down. Then he has a bad pit stop because his gun broke. He fights his way back to 4th, but he just surrendered a ton of dominator points to somebody else that you might not have expected. So that's why I don't walk drivers. But I'm talking more so for like these expensive drivers. Stupid stuff can happen for Josh Berry today. He can have the most mid-race ever and finish 17th, and you're very happy about that. That gets the job done. Appreciate that, Napalm. Who am I showing positive leverage on? So some of the drivers that really pop for me in the positive leverage department. Pull it up. So Kyle Larson's going to be chalked today, but he does show a lot of positive leverage for me still. He just projects very well. Other than that, Alex Bowman, another driver who's going to be pretty high owned, but I don't think he'll be as high owned as the 7K drivers below him. So he's showing a lot of positive leverage. Same with Ryan Preece, just because, again, there's just so much ownership funneled to the massive PD plays. Don't forget about Preece. I mean, his upside is very similar to Berry and Keselowski. And you can, if he finished with more points today, I don't think anyone's going to be too shocked about that. Tyler Reddick has some positive PD as well. Don't think I'm missing anybody. I mean, there's a couple other guys, but Chris Buescher, Ty Gibbs. Pretty much. Those are pretty much the tournament plays. Like, you can play chalk PD today without being a complete chalk donkey. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking a Brad Keselowski lineup out for Ryan Preece. I mean, Ryan Preece has been really good this year. Brad Keselowski is not. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that, and the ownership is not going to reflect that today. But yeah, I mean, there's just definitely a couple ways we can go. And if you want to get crazy, you take out Kyle Busch for like a Chris Buescher if you believe in the potential for dominator points today. Chris Buescher has been insanely faster than Kyle Busch. Who I like for DK Cash? I mean, I'm sure I already answered this, but if you just now got here, there's like 2 cash lineups today. It's Larson with all the PD. Like, you go here, and then you go Chastain, and then just select all these 30 drivers. Or you go Larson with either Blaney and Hamlin, and then you do something similar, but you're not going to be able to play Ross Chastain in that build. You have to go down to like Kyle or just like that. And then if you need to go a little bit cheaper, that something just happened there. You go to AJ Allmendinger starting in 33rd. I mean, the builds pretty much build themselves today for cash games. DraftKings GPP Larson lineup. Bowman, Preece, or Brad Keselowski is last man in. I'm going to have to go with Bowman there. Since it's a GPP, I mean, Keselowski has the best floor of the bunch, but I mean, love the upside with Bowman today. I only have 2 bets. I didn't really like any of the outrights. I have Bowman top 10 at plus 115. I think those are all minus odds now. Got that like at 2 a.m. last night right before bed. So I grabbed that. And then I have Justin Haley top 10, just a small sprinkle at plus 1,200. And Bowman, my model really loves Bowman today. I'm scared I'm a little bit too high on him, but he shows value across the entire board. So he's my on paper champion of the day today, it looks like. Timothy says, did they fix the tire issue? By the way, you look beautiful. Appreciate it, Timothy. I'm hoping they fix the tire issue. I mean, some of the teams were just kind of pushing the limit for their lower tire pressure. I mean, if you were watching practice, it was wrinkling. It had it super low, definitely below the recommendation. But I'm hoping they fix it. Don't have an inside scoop, unfortunately. What's up, John? Yes, happy Mother's Day to Mrs. Pennell. Who do you have finishing better head-to-head? Wallace versus Bowman. I have Bubba higher. Reddick over Chastain. Logano over Elliott. I think I have Logano over Elliott. It's probably pretty close. No, I actually have Chase over Logano. Good thing I checked. Chase over Logano. And then I have Hamlin over Bell. And good luck to you as well. What's up, Richard? Only reason Larson lost last week because of one mistake, a bad restart. Larson winning. If Larson loses, I won't have money for it. Hey, I do think Larson will win today. I love him in DFS. I can't bet him at that price tag because, like you mentioned, I mean, something stupid can happen. That's what it is. I think he'll be the best card today, no doubt about it, but stupid stuff happens at the end. Sometimes you just can't control it. What do I think about Larson, Blaney, Kyle Busch, Gregson, Keselowski, Allmendinger? Man, looks good to me. I have no issue with any of those drivers. It's good roster construction. Click to you as well, Stan. What's up, Ross? Bowman, Larson, Hamlin, AJ Heim, Cindric. Thoughts? I haven't found myself really getting to too much Cindric or Corey Heim. Nothing against Corey Heim. It's just the way my roster construction flows. It's like it leads me down to either Dinger or just the 7K range. Kind of hard for me to click on Heim. But I don't have anything against him. He's just like one of those, like when you look at your projections and you sort it by value, not that this is what it is, but like you have the elite plays up here, you have the bad plays down here, and then he just kind of falls in that middle where it's like, hey, if he slides in my lineup, it's not the end of the world. I'm not happy about it. I'm not upset about it either, Same can be said for Cindric. Any value on AJ for 550? I'm assuming you mean top 10 Feduni, because that's what you usually ask. I'm going to say no before I look, but let me double check. No, I am not. I'm not close to that today. The only top 10 bet I'm seeing is Justin Haley and Alex Bowman currently. Because even at minus odds, Bowman's still showing some value there. And you can get Justin Haley at 12 to... So listen to this. Justin Haley is 12 to 1 for a top 10 on Hard Rock. And then Michael McDowell is plus 325. So they're starting right next to each other. I don't even pull up the practice. So Michael McDowell starting 11th. Justin Haley starting 12th. So I cannot find Haley for some reason. Okay, he's down here. Practice times, like Michael McDowell had the better short run. 2nd, 6th, 14th, 12th. But Haley wasn't bad either. 11th, 7th, 12th, 14th. They're the same car, same team. You're getting McDowell at 325, or you can get Justin Haley at 1200. That makes no sense to me. So the Sims liked the Haley top 10 bet for a sprinkle, so that's what I'm on. But the discrepancy in those two, it just makes no sense to me. I don't get it. I don't know if it's because he ran up front at the end last week, but let's be honest, it's not because he was there on speed. He just, I believe he took 2 tires or he stayed out. Something happened. But I don't know. Just doesn't make sense. What would be 2 core drivers for a 3 max? I would say Kyle Larson and either Keselowski or Josh Berry would be my starting point. One of those two. Bowman, Busch, or Blaney and Dinger for cash games? Probably going to go Bowman and Busch there, Steven. Bowman and Busch. Larson or Denny? I like Larson just because of the ceiling. I think Denny will be good today. He has a higher floor because he starts 14th, but at the same time, I mean, Larson's going to pick up the dominator points. The only way Larson does dominate today is if Chris Buescher just alphas him on the beginning, which is not easy to do. And then Larson's going to have just a major issue at some point. Because if all goes clean in the start of the race, he should just be able to lay down some dominator points. Can Gibbs still win starting from the rear? I don't think he was going to win starting in 6th anyway. So I'm going to say no. It does remind me though to check Bob's Twitter and make sure I'm not missing anything. Did we get Ty Gibbs news to the rear? I never saw Ty Gibbs going to the. Oh, here it is. Sorry, 2 hours ago. Ty Gibbs, Keselowski, Ty Dillon, Briscoe, Berry, Smith, and Van Gisbergen. I mean, I don't really care about anyone going to the rear. Gibbs would be the one that hurts the most, but even then, it's like once the end of the race happens, I mean, these guys probably should be where they are going to be at the end, despite potential complete chaos, of course. It does hurt his Dom side, though, which I wasn't really giving him many dominant points anyway, but it just hurts him a little bit. What's up, Cody? Under 6K range feels pretty gross this week. Not many great options. What do you think? I agree. I don't really think you have to go down that low this week, but if you do, I think Ty Dillon's probably our best choice. What's up, Sean? Who I got winning the race? I got Kyle Larson winning the race. Boring answer, but that's what it is. What's up, Kay? Says, my cash line is Larson, Chastain, Kyle Busch, Bowman, Berry, Keselowski. Should I swap someone out or leave it as is? That's my current preferred cash game build right there. That's what the optimizer would tell you as well. But I mean, it's just a really good build. You have a bunch of guys that can get a bunch of spots, and you have Larson just laying down the lead laps. Is Noah Gragson sneaky? Yeah, he'll be sneaky today. I mean, I don't really think many people are going to go there. Just look right above him. You have the trio of major place differential plays, and Berry and Keselowski, you're going to have a ton of ownership. Favorite low owned plays? So the guys I like, I mean, some of them are not going to be like super low owned by any means, but at the same time, with so much chalk, even a guy like Alex Bowman, he'll be lower owned than some of these 7K range, unless everyone keeps talking up Alex Bowman like I am. I didn't get to watch any of the other shows or anything. I don't know what they're pushing, but if everyone's talking about Alex Bowman, I mean, Alex Bowman might get pushed up into that range with them. So we got to be a little bit careful here, I guess. But the guys I plan on being overweight to, Alex Bowman, like Bubba Wallace, quite a bit. I like Tyler Reddick. More so on DraftKings for Tyler Reddick. But I think those are some of the better term plays. Ryan Preece as well, I think, is another one. Like, they're not going to be low owned, but they're going to be lower owned than the major chalk. Got a donor here from Clint. Appreciate that. Shout out to the best Discord community in the world, which I got to give a shout out to Clint. Cleared like $6,000. No, $6,000 in baseball the one night, and then another $1,000 on prize picks the next night. So, got to give you a shout out for that. But anyway, Fade Larson, Jam Bell, and 2311 for GPP win today. These comments are my own and are not affiliated with any other. Yeah, I'm not super in on the Bell this week. I don't think he's going to be bad. I just have a hard time seeing him dominate over Larson. We'll see, though. Just doesn't offer much PD. But I wish you the best, sir. And yeah, fading Larson is not going to be a fun sweat, but at least you have the funds to do it now after last week. That's for sure. Charles says, 0 C-Bell feels disgusting. I feel like depends on how many lineups you're building. If I'm playing 3 lineups, I'm not playing Bell. 20, I'm probably going to sprinkle in like a Bell or 2 in 20, maybe. I'm not going to force it, though. We'll see if he shows up. 150 max, yeah, I mean, you got to play some Bell, but yeah, if I'm doing single entry, 3 max, I'm not personally getting the Bell today. It can go south, but at some point, you just have to take a stand and cross off some drivers. That says it's going to rain here in Tampa. I wouldn't do a 5-man stack, just my opinion. Yeah, I saw we're finally getting some weather. We've been in a very bad drought. Dry as a bone here. What's up, Nathan? Would you consider Haley and Nemechek similar plays for GBP? Typically don't like playing Nemechek, but he looked good last week and had a decent... My chat just died. Okay. Last week and a decent practice this weekend. Yeah, I would say they're somewhat in the same ballpark there. Neither really projects very well because it's just almost impossible to for where they are starting. Justin Haley, I kind of like a little bit better, but neither is going to project well. It's one of those situations where I said it last week. Like some of these guys it's just hard for them to project so good because like I don't have the winner projected to finish first. I have the winner projected to finish like 6, and then everything kind of gets scaled down based off of that. So. Like for Haley, I haven't predicted to finish around 20th today. which is not terrible, but at the same time, for DFS purposes, starting in 12th, it kind of makes it tough. Now on FanDuel, I feel like he's a better FanDuel place. $2,500, he is completely free. And if he finishes 13th, even 15th, that's great. Because I don't think some of these PD plays are going to get high enough to where that works out. And you can just completely stack up the rest of your lineup. Steven says, if you go back to 2023 and 2024 spring and fall, $2 is optimal and almost every penny spent on DraftKings. Yeah, I mean, I don't really think you want to leave too much money on the table. Although, not every slate's going to be the same where you have just limited place differential plays as well. But this should be a race where, for GPPs, 2 DOMs, probably 2 of the 10K drivers, most likely ends up being the optimal, I would say. Keaton says, fade Bush, right? I don't know. He projects really well today. Very easy to get away from him, though. I mean, you have Bo Wallace right there. You have Chris Buescher. Completely different play from Kyle Busch, but it's definitely one way to get different. Alex Bowman in that price range. But he looks good. I mean, I know he's washed. He's definitely not nearly as good as he used to be back in the day, but didn't practice too bad. Some decent long run speed. And also at the same time, Kansas hasn't been too bad. He's been in the top 10, 3 out of 6 races. And if we go to a more recent data set, 13 race sample size, 4 top 10s, 6 top 15s. If he finishes 17th today, I mean, it's not bad. That's for sure. Like, he's got a fairly easy path to 50 points today. No problem at all dropping dimes. DK Cash, I have Larson, Busch, Berry, and Keselowski. What is the best way to round this out? Chastain and Bowman? Yeah, that's probably my favorite way right there. I mean, I think that's like the cash optimal today almost. There's another route you can go with Dinger's your lowest, then you get up to like a Denny, but I kind of like that first one there. It was a bit better. Glenn says, Ty Dillon GPP today or way too... No, he's not risky. I actually think Ty Dillon's going to have somewhat decent ownership today. He might even creep up to close to 20% owned. I think I'm projected around 15 currently. But I do think Ty Dillon will be the popular punt down low. What's up, Yancey? FanDuel single entry of Larson, Bowman, Blaney, Priest, and Berry. Do you like Dinger and Keselowski instead of Berry or Priest? I mean, Keselowski projects better than Berry or Priest, but I'm going to be honest, they're almost all the same place. I don't want to steer you off your first build there because it's pretty much impossible for me to say I like Berry better than Keselowski today or I like Keselowski better than Berry. I would be lying if I said there is a giant edge there. It's the same play. You got to hope you're on the right side of it, personally. Whoever gets the better random shuffle at the end, that's who'll be the better. I think Keselowski has a somewhat faster car today, but at the same time, I think Berry's been a lot better this season overall. It's very tough. Pugsley says, Chris, non-DFS question, thoughts on the 2311 from Motorsports versus NASCAR lawsuit? I'll be honest, I kind of don't know too much about it. But I'm going to take the side of Denny versus NASCAR just because, I mean, why not? So I don't really have enough knowledge for me to even give too much of a comment on that. But I'll side with Denny just because I like Denny. And then NASCAR makes too many poor decisions for me to support them in a lawsuit. Hunter says, Larson, Bell, Blaney need 3 more. For what? Like, is this DFS question? Because that's a lot of money right there. I would just go with the PD plays, but I don't know. Your salary situation or... What's up, Silva? I'm glad you got your power back on. Darren says, Larson, Keselowski, Berry, Bowman, Chastain, Busch, too chalky. I mean, that has the potential to be the chalkiest lineup today, Darren. so if you're worried about chalky, yes, that's too chalky. It's got the potential to be like the most duped lineup potentially or close to it. What's up, Justin? Larson, Ross, Busch, Hocevar, Priest, and Berry. Not sure why I want to add Carson, but here we are. I mean, he did win last night. But yeah, Carson, he has speed at these tracks, but he feels pretty much finishes outside the top 20 every single time. He's a bit of a wild card. But it'll keep you a little bit different at the release. It's kind of chalky lineup, but he'll be different there. It's not bad. No, it does not. Okay. I mean, Ty Gibbs drops interest a little bit, but I'm not really playing Ty Gibbs much anyway. And then everybody else pretty much has place differential. So that doesn't affect them. Sorry if you guys can hear my watch. It's just, better turn that off. Okay. What's up, Paul? Says, I know you don't like the 9K range, but if you wanted to play one to get different, who would you go with? A big field tournament? Let me check what the projections say. I'm assuming Bell, probably because he has the most dominant upside there. Yeah, projection-wise, it's Bell. I'm giving him roughly 22 laps led with some fast laps. Still doesn't look great for DFS purposes, but I mean, C Bell has shown the ability to run up front here at the very least. And we know it's C Bell, he's good. Blaney or Hamlin? It's one of those it's basically like the Berry versus Keselowski question. My projections like Hamlin by a point, and that's just because we have 4 extra PD spots, but my heart is telling me to go with Ryan Blaney because he has had unlimited speed at these track types this year. So I might have to defer from the projections slightly. They're basically a tie anyway. But gonna have to roll the dice, I think, with Blaney there. The only issue is, I mean, Hamlin's just been so good at Kansas. No problem at all, Chad. Got me on top of my home league for now with 3 wins this season. So it's awesome, Chad. Hopefully you keep it up and make that 4 this week. How much PD on FanDuel? I like it a lot. It's basically the same thing as DraftKings today, your builds. Am I playing Gibbs? I am not personally planning on playing much Gibbs at all. Just because of where he's starting, and plus going to the rear doesn't help things. So it says, Texas best track of the season. No, Texas is horrible. They need to nuke that track. They need to bring Old Atlanta back. They need to bring Auto Club back. And then they need to make Texas the super speedway. I'm not saying Atlanta's bad, but I liked Old Atlanta. I like the tire wear. Just make Texas the super speedway, and then I guess we'll like it better. I don't know. Inside the Bull, Larson, Blaney, Dinger, Bowman, Berry, Keselowski. What do you think? It looks great. I mean, it's chalky, sure, but I like the lineup. I cannot say anything bad about that. Mr. Pillow Pants, how much PD is too much PD? You can put Larson, hope he leads, and then stack the back. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a fine route today. I think in tournaments, you're probably going to need that second dominator to take down, most likely, but I think there's 2 routes you go. You go Larson, and then Larson or Busher, I guess. Then PD, or you go Larson with like another big dog up front, or in the 10K range potentially, and then you go PD. We should be able to pass at Kansas, I think. I hope. If not, we have a real problem if we can't pass today a little bit. Is 100% Berry too much? I wouldn't go 100% personally. It also depends on how many lineups I'm building. If you're playing 3 lineups, you want to bury every single one. Whatever. If I'm playing 150, I can't play him in every lineup. I mean, there's just a scenario where he gets edged out by a few points by Ryan Preece, and that could cost you the optimal. Who's a sneaky guy like outright? The only value I have on an outright bet right now is Alex Bowman. I think you can get him at 20-1 or 21-1, and that shows actually quite a bit of value. I think Byron might show slight value, but not near as much as Bowman. Any left for Hocevar? Not really. He's just like in that mid for me. It's just hard to stack up well when you have Berry and Keselowski and Bowman in that range. Ross or Reddick in a head-to-head matchup? For me, it's Reddick, but it also depends on the price tag. Because I doubt that's even. Herp's a fine punt play. He's all right. I don't really want to play Herbs personally. I mean, you can, but I get 4 extra PD spots with Ty Dillon. Probably run pretty similar. Give me the 4 extra spots. Wasn't Dinger awful in practice? He was awful in practice spread, which is somewhat concerning. I just don't think the speed from what we've seen this year is just going to completely go away, but it definitely didn't make me feel great seeing the practice speeds. Like he's at the very bottom, but at the same time, I mean, Ryan Preece is also at the very bottom. I don't think he's going to be the worst car. I don't think Logano is going to be the worst. He ran a lot of laps though. But overall, he laid down some pretty decent laps. Thoughts on Chastain tournaments? I mean, nothing wrong with Chastain today. Just he's the guy that starts in the 20s every week and he contends for a top 10. It's the same story every single week. Any prize picks? Unfortunately, Matthew, I can't even open prize picks on my computer. The only thing I can use in Florida is the arena mode. And for some reason, I get stuck on initializing services or location services every time I try to open up prize picks on my computer, so I can't even do it. So I have no idea. I don't know why it's doing that, but need one more player under $6,900, says Mad Dog. Who do I prefer? Under $6,900, I would go with AJ Allmendinger. That'd be my preferred route. What's up? It's not funny. Thoughts on Wallace or Chase Elliott today? I like Chase Elliott more than Bubba personally. I think Bubba should have, I mean, I don't see a reason Bubba will not be fast today. He's been fast at these track types all season. He's been quick all year. Quite a bit of bad luck mixed in, but I mean, Bubba should be top 10 contender for sure. I have more faith in Bubba Wallace finishing better than Chase Elliott today, finish-wise. Woody for the win, Blaney and Dinger, or Chastain and Bush and DraftKings Cash? I will go with Chastain and Bush. Is Priest going overlooked? I show positive leverage on Ryan Priest today. He doesn't feel like too much of a different play than Josh Berry and Brad Keselowski. He's not going to project better, but he doesn't feel too different. Thoughts on Bell? No one's mentioned him. It's just one of those things where I just think Larson leads early. And if he's leading early, Bell's not dominating. If Bell's not dominating at nearly $10,000 and he fades back to, say, 7th, that's just not going to get the job done. I think Tyler Reddick will probably be better than Bell today. And then these other guys can move forward. So I'm not ruling him out of the Dominator pool. I gave him some Dominator points. I just think by the end of the day, if he doesn't win the race or completely crush, he's not going to get there. What's up, Clinton? Appreciate that. Biggest NASCAR win. I've won the Chrome Horn. I've won the Lug Nut several times. Probably the biggest. I'm not one that likes to max the main contests. I try to stay in the single entries, 3 maxes, those type of contests. I play the slow game, but it's been quite profitable. Slow and steady wins the race. I'm not one that likes to go all out in a week or anything like that. Slow and steady race. Play an amount that if you lose it all, you're not just having a horrible day. You just come back next week. Small wins stack up, and that's my philosophy. But yeah, Chrome Horn was definitely my Chrome Horn at Bristol. What's up, Kiefer? Scott, Mother's Day to all the mothers. I agree. Shout out to all the moms. Is this track prone to a lot of crashes? I mean, not really. I mean, of course, there's always going to be like a wreck or two. But we'll see. Hopefully it's not like Texas. The issue with Texas is you can't pass. So people are going for the kill and restarts. Yeah, lineup does make itself today. I mean, I'm not saying it's like you're guaranteed to win money and make and cash everything because everyone has the same thought process. So it's going to be tough today to get different. I'll almost be surprised if we see a unique win at the top of the main contest today. I'll go with Blaney over Tyler Reddick. I will go with Chastain and Bowman over Danny and Dinger personally. But those are the 2 cash lineups today. And I think that's pretty much the only 2 routes. What's up, Marshall? How about this lineup? Larson, Elliott, Chastain, Bowman, Berry, Allmendinger. I'm not huge on Elliott today. Kind of like if you subbed Elliott out for, say, I guess maybe even Kyle Busch, I'd feel better about it. But that just ends up being the chalk lineup, though. I think, unless I'm missing somebody. But it's not bad. I don't think Chase Elliott's coming out and scoring 10 points today, guys. So don't get that twisted. Like he's viable to play. Like he'll get points, of course. I got him. I don't have him completely down in the dumps. But compared to his price tag, it's just not looking super feasible to me based off of what we've seen this year. He didn't really have any speed last week. Of course, he got up to around 15th, and he wasn't better than that. I don't know. something going on with the 9 car ever since he had that leg injury. He's like the 4th best ender car at this point. I mean, honestly, Bowman and Chase Elliott, they should be a lot close. I'm not going to say they should flip their price tags because I think Bowman should be closer to 9K, but I think at this point, Bowman should probably be more expensive than Chase Elliott intermediates. What's up, Jim? You have Larson, Hamlin, Reddick, Hyman, Dinger, and Todd Gillen. Thoughts? I mean, it's not bad. I don't have a ton of interest in Hyman today. Todd Gillen, where's Todd Gillen? Starting 23rd. Yeah, Todd's another guy I'm not really getting too much of, but the rest looks good. Sub Dustin, feels like single entry built itself on DraftKings. How would you recommend getting different? Yeah, I mean, you can always sub out like a Barry or Keselowski for a Ryan Preece today. That's one way to do it. You could sub out Kyle Busch for, say, Bubba Wallace. If you're really feeling frisky, Chris Buescher, even. But MD says Larson is an awful play today. That doesn't make sense to me. Just because someone's high owned does not necessarily equate to being a bad play. Optimal rates versus ownership are certainly a thing. And again, just because someone's chalked does not mean they're a bad play. So Josh, if I was fading Larson, who would be the 2 dominators you would start with? I would go with one of Tyler Reddick or William Byron personally, or Chris Buescher, of course. So I think you need at least one of those 3. Buescher's just really not in the same price range. But if we're talking like expensive drivers, for me, it would be Tyler Reddick if you do not have Kyle Larson. Is Heim driving a good car? Yeah, he's in a 2311 car. So, I mean, that's Bubba Wallace. And Tyler, I forgot first to say Tyler Reddick. So, I mean, yeah, they should have some speed. Of course, I definitely think Bubba Wallace and Tyler Reddick are going to be the 2 big dogs. Riley Herbst will lag behind, but I think Corey Heim should probably be the 3rd best car in that team. Clint says that. Well, Clint, I said it was entertaining at the end at the very least, but when Joey Logano wins at your track, I mean, it can't be good, right? Any world where I start with Blaney and Hamlin and skip Larson, you can do that. Only issue is you're going to potentially miss out on the early dominator. So if you do go that route, playing Chris Buescher would not be a bad move because with how cheap he is, it would make sense to kind of slot that in. Thoughts on starting 3 drivers, 10K and up? I'm not a big fan of that today. I think 2 drivers is probably all you need. What's up, Daniels? Happy race day to you as well. Seems obvious today, but I guess we'll see. Jamming the 5, big surprise. Also, your weekly reminder of Chastain's ridiculous optimal rate this year. 8 of 13 races. That's the thing. He just does the same thing every week, and he's just like a DFS darling. Just keep going back to the well. Is it smart to try and jam in Larson, Blaney, and Hamlin? I don't personally love that route. I mean, you can do it, but I feel like 2 makes it in, not 3. Not saying you can't cash, of course, but if we're hunting the optimal, I think it's probably 2. I do not really like Suarez today personally because of the starting position. Stenhouse, on the other hand, yeah, I think he's one of the better cheap plays. DePalma says clear your cookies on Prize Picks and he'll get rid of that. I guess that probably makes sense. I'm sure that would work. I don't really have much interest in even playing on Prize Picks. I do when they offer some free promos here and there randomly a few times a year, but that's really about it. Stenhouse, any love? I guess I just answered that one. But I don't love Stenhouse, but I like him. All right, I just realized we're past 2:30, and I got less than 30 minutes to build now, so I'm gonna have to probably speed run through these last few questions. If you have any dire questions that need answered, I will answer them. Oh, he says don't gamble away. Yeah, definitely don't do that. What's up, Hunter? Yeah, we definitely have to build here. I'll be doing that in a few minutes. Hamlin versus Reddick. I prefer Denny. Ricky's a fine play, just I like him a little bit less than AJ Allmendinger. Chastain and Preece or Reddick and Stenhouse for DraftKings GPP. From an ownership perspective, Reddick and Stenhouse is interesting because I also think Reddick has like 80-point upside if he can get up front and secure those dominant points. I really don't think you're going to get that with Chastain. So I'll go with the Reddick route. But I believe the Chastain and Preece route projects better. How much are we leaving money on the table? I seem to be using most of it. Yeah, I would use the large majority of your salary today. I don't really think you want to leave too much money on the table. Nemechek or Gregson? I would go with Noah Gregson personally. Blaney, Larson. I think it's a good lineup, Mad Dog. Got no issue with that. I like Ty Dillon as the punt play too, and he makes things fit. You're smelling a Ross win today, Feduni? How you feel about that? I don't smell a Ross win personally. Maybe like a backdoor top 10. I don't think he's gonna win though. I don't. I have a dire question. What should I eat for dinner? I made Asian stir fry last night, so make that. It was very good. Yeah, don't forget the scrambled eggs. Yep, I'll see you in Discord, Rick. I'll be there in a minute. Nemechek or Gregson? I'll go with Gregson. I'm going to play Keselowski, David. It feels gross, but I just have to do it. And I don't think I would fade Larson. And one. Yeah, if you want to fade him in one of your 4 builds in GPP, that's fine. I wouldn't play him 100% either way. And I'm also not really too keen on McDowell or Cindric. If I had to play one, it would be Austin Cindric, because I actually don't hate the speed he has shown at these tracks this year. But I got to get out of here, unfortunately. I have to build, or I'm not going to get my lineups in. But I appreciate everyone being here. I wish every mom, if there's moms listening to this, probably not, but if there is, happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to everyone out there. But wish you all the best. And I don't know which race we're at next week. I want to say it's North Wilkesboro for some reason. Then we have the Coke 600. But I don't remember. But I'm going to get out of here. I'm going to build. Wish you all the best. And hopefully Larson doesn't screw this up.